like the delivery guy or the waitress or whatever. He's the scum at the bottom of the barrel, the scum none of the other barrel scum want to be seen with. Never trust someone who's mean to the waitress. Fine, Bradigan says. He's somehow looking down his nose at me, despite the fact that I'm a good 6 inches taller than him. But when he shoves his hand out into the space between us, palm up, I'm only too happy to drop my key there. That little key weighs half an ounce at most, but it feels like 10 tons have been lifted off of me. Then, with one last look over my shoulder at my now bare apartment, I'm out of there. It's been a long time since I've felt properly nervous, but I recognize the squirming feeling in my gut. I've been working at Sunset Horizons for years, ever since I moved away from home, really, and it feels strange to be leaving. Sunset Horizons is where I met my best friend Maya, and incidentally, it's where she met her fiancé Dex Anthony, who I once believed would be my brother-in-law. But that was before Jude took a wrecking ball to my heart and obliterated everything. Nope, I say under my breath as I drive, the miles between me and Sunset Horizons stretching even further. Don't think about Jude. Don't do it. The problem is, it's kind of hard not to think about Jude. No matter where I go or what I do, I can't escape him. Part of it is because his grandma, Cynthia, was the one who told me about the job opening at Sunset Horizons back when I first moved away from home. I've known and loved her since I was a little girl, and my dad worked for the Anthony family as a landscaper and gardener, and I've kept in close touch with her over the years, even after Jude broke off our engagement. She's also the one who recently helped me find my new townhome. I told her I was moving and looking for a new place to live, since mine was so horrible. And when she asked if I'd be okay with something a few towns over, I said yes. She told me about a nice young man looking for a roommate, her words, not mine, in Hollydale, which is maybe 20 minutes away from Sunset Horizons. His name is Errol, and he's the grandson of one of Cynthia's friends at Sunset. It will be odd having a roommate, much less a guy, but I'll get used to it. Cynthia helped me find a job, too. Unlike last time, though, when she just told me Sunset Horizons was hiring for janitorial positions, this time she took it a step further. She actually got me an interview, which I did not ask her to do, by the way. I told her I was moving. She told me about Errol, and then she said, "You'll be looking for different work, then?" I said yes. She nodded, told me she'd keep her ear to the ground, and then 1 week later she called and said, "You have an interview at Red's at 6 o'clock on Monday. It's a restaurant, a lovely place. Wear something nice, dear. It's a bit fancier than Sunset Horizons." So that's how I found myself meeting with Gwendolyn, the stern but poised manager, maybe a few years older than me, telling her about my past restaurant experience, 3 years of waitressing and hostessing in high school. It was a bit awkward. She didn't ask how I got the interview, but she alluded to it several times, making me think she didn't like someone going over her head. But really, how was I supposed to know Grandma Cynthia knew the owner of Red's? How was I supposed to know she'd call him up and ask him to consider hiring me? I didn't ask her to do that. She just did it. Because that's the kind of woman she is. Someone who helps people if it's at all within her power. Jude was the same way, and I'm positive he got that quality from her, because he sure didn't get it from his parents. Nancy and Hannaford Anthony are not particularly altruistic, nor did either of them like me very much, not that Jude ever cared about that. He never would have let them come between us. No, what ultimately came between us was Jude's own fears. 18 years old, engaged to his high school sweetheart, and suddenly Jude looked forward at the rest of his life and realized he wasn't sure about anything. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do for a career. He wasn't sure he was smart enough to live up to his parents' expectations. And he wasn't sure he was ready to commit the rest of his life to one relationship. So he left. He broke off our engagement and went to college on his own, and I moved away as soon as I had saved up enough money. I didn't move far, but Sunset Horizons was far enough. That was 6 years ago, and I'm sad to say that it still hurts to think about that man. It's still hard to breathe when someone mentions him in